Very good morning. It's Mark here. It is Monday, October the 6th, 7:50 a.m. Eastern. That's 11:50 a.m. GMT. US session about to get underway. And let's have a look how the markets are shaping up. Start of getting into the third uh, final quarter of 2025. First thing I'm seeing, US dollar index, a big gap up to start. I've got support at 97.67 and resistance at 98.19, a level that buyers did try break through in the middle of September unsuccessfully. We'll see whether buyers can test and break above this resistance level, or if sellers are going to step in and look down at the 97.67 support level. Interesting, US government shutdown going into its second week. I've got strong US dollar. And as I go through the other major instruments, you'll see a similar pattern. The S&P 500, there you can see a gap up to start demand for US equities going into Monday and going into the US Open. Still an hour and a half until Wall Street opens up, but for now, I've got support at 6,771. I've got resistance at 6,793, almost at Friday's high. Small green candlestick. So starting on the front foot, the major US stock markets, and buyers will be looking to test that 6,793 resistance once US session gets underway and we see Wall Street get underway. Gold, no surprise to see start of a new week, gold continuing doing what it's been doing now for pretty much since 18th of August, this historic rally that we're seeing, a gap up to start today, closed last week at 3,886 and started this week at 3,910. Already I've got resistance at 3,945, almost a $50 move to start before the US session even gets underway. So US dollar index starting on a strong footing, equity markets and the S&P on a strong footing, and gold on a strong footing, all in the face of the US government shutdown, which is interesting. If I zoom in on gold, I'm on the hourly, and you can see that the level we're sitting at, it has been in this for pretty much at these highs pretty much through the European session, looking to push down off resistance. Sellers will be looking down at the 3,898 and below the 3,900 level. We'll see if that can be maintained once the US session now gets underway. Let's have a look at Brent oil. Where we had last week a strong sell-off last week, all the way down to support at $64 and broke below significantly the $65 mark. A gap up to start the week, closed last week at $64.38 and then opened to start the new week at 65.33, almost a dollar higher, has come down a little bit since then. If I zoom in on the hourly, there you can see coming down right now and sitting at 64.92, just below that $65 mark. We'll see. So on the daily, if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see the pattern broke through the significant support level, trying to bounce up a gap higher to start. But for now, selling pressure again, lack of buyers, lack of demand for oil, and sellers looking down at the $64 mark. Looking for Bitcoin. Bitcoin looking strong. Strong week yesterday, strong week last week, and yesterday a new record high at 125.6 thousand. And right now, looking bullish. Buyers demand, buyers in control, sitting at 124,200. If I just put in today's support and today's resistance, there you can see my range for today. I've got support at 123,000. I've got resistance at 124,500. So $1,500 range so far. But trend is definitely up. You can have a look at the EMAs, higher highs, higher lows, and buyers will be looking to test today's high, sitting at 124,500. And then we've got yesterday's high at 125,500. Now that the US session is open, we'll see whether that can be maintained. Good trading, and I'll see you at the end of today's session.